Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can draw the structure of curl, how you can shade the curl using two different methods with indentation or without indentation technique. So these are the things that we will learn in this hair tutorial. Okay, let's begin with the quick recap of how you can draw the structure of a curl, as I've already made a video on this topic, so you can check that in the card up above to learn it more precisely. Okay, so there are a lot of ways to draw a curl just by looking at the direction of it. I've already drew it, so I'm just replicating it over here, just like this, with the help of some of the guidelines. Like I have drew a box so I can get an idea that how to draw it in a more accurate way. So now I have these two tools to block the shading of curl, but firstly I'll go in with the indentation technique. Like I'm going to indent the hair texture on the paper first, just to have a subtle guidelines of shading hair. So I'm just preparing the base with this tool. By the way, you all know that the indentation is a process to create deep lines, texture or any hair texture or whiskers on the paper by pressing the tool against the paper. So by doing this, you have to make sure that you create these lines just by looking at your reference photo for drawing these lines more accurately. Now I have this hair curl where I haven't indented at all, but the only difference here is that I'm working here on the darker areas by leaving most of the areas unsaturated. So I'll have more margin to draw the hair flakes more naturally rather than going in one go and shading the hair directly. So I'm basically drawing the contour line of this curl to enhance the darker areas more visibly. You can see that the contour drawing of this curl is almost done. Now moving back to the first curl where we use an indenting tool. So let's start the shading on this one. So I'm overlaying the graphite on these indenting lines, but just try to make sure that you want shade in these white indenting lines. Try to follow the graphite strokes in the direction of each of the little section of hair. I'm also looking at the reference photo where the shadows and highlights are going to be. So you can see the highlights tend to be in the middle of each lock of the hair. So try to manage the saturation between each curl to make it really pop up and realistic. Alright, So the shading with indentation on this curl is finally done. Now I'm going to shade this curl where I haven't applied any indentation. So I'm going to block in each section of this curl using lines rather than circular motions, because hair is obviously strands of hair. So I'm just using these strands to indicate the direction that the hair is going in, and also to make some more defined sections of the hair. I'm applying a bit more pressure for the areas that a bit more shadowed, so that now have a clear view of where the shadows are in the hair and where the highlights are on that. So when I go in with the darker pencil, I can add more shadows to those areas and darken them up. So I'm just using these strands to indicate the direction that the hair is going in, and also to make some more defined sections of the hair by applying a bit more pressure for the areas there is a more shadows. And I'm also having this clear view of where the shadow are in the hair and where the highlights are. So for adding more darker shadows, I'm going to use the Faber Castell black pencil for darken up the more shadowed areas. Okay, so I'm basically doing a lot of the shadows towards the outside edge, so not in the middle of the locks of the hair. This will create more of that three-dimensional curved look, and I'm just going throughout the whole of this curl and doing the same thing just to make it look a bit more contrast and make it pop. Now I'm balancing the contrast on the first curl by darkening the shadowed areas with the help of black pencil, and after that I'm adding some flyaway hairs to help break up the curl to make it look a lot more natural. Now I'm going to add some of the highlight by pulling up some graphite from the paper, and for this I'm using a piece of an eraser and I just cut the edge of it diagonally, and I'm using it like following the direction where I need to create the highlights. And as you know, that highlights is what's going to make your curls stand out and even make it pop a bit more out the paper and make your curl look really realistic. So this is it for today's tutorial. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye.